making a huge plunge. During Hillary's run for the White House, it raked $62 million. But after her loss, contributions have been drying up, falling over 40% to $26 million.
Our next guest argues this just proves that Clintons monetized their political influence through that foundation. Here to explain, former Assistant U.S. Attorney and Fox News contributor Andy McCarthy. Good morning, Andy. What do you say about all this?
Well, you know, I think, Griff, that there was a big miss during the email scandal because there was a lot of chatter, mainly driven by President Clinton, but also the Justice Department and the FBI, about whether Mrs. Clinton intended to harm the United States by setting up this private email communication system and destroying all these emails. And the thing is, not only was that not part of the case against her, not only was that not part of the classified information statute under which she was being investigated, it obscured what the real reason, I think, was for the fact that she set up this private system and destroyed all these emails, which is that during her tenure, the State Department was put in the service of the Clinton Foundation, which was a scheme to monetize her political influence. And that's what the lost evidence is about.
And that would explain why she took a hammer and a bleach bit, and she was so intent on making sure that this information never got out, because it would not just take her down, it could take down Chelsea and possibly her husband as well.
Yeah, Rachel, think about this. There's a lot of government people, we're learning more and more, who end up conducting some of their official duties on their private email. Sometimes it's just because of the necessity of a moment in time when, you know, you only have your private email with you and you have to respond to something. And most of that stuff is okay as long as a copy of the emails makes it into the file. But this isn't a situation where she even constantly conducted her business on private email. She set up a system in which to do it. She actually set up a system that was a totally private framework that was run out of the Clinton family home in New York, which, you know, was the headquarters of the Clinton Family Foundation. What a surprise.
What a surprise. Andy, you know, a lot of people you hear more about this. We've heard a lot about it. Will the Clintons ever be held to account for influence peddling?
Hard to say. You know, in some ways, Pete, if you look at it as a kind of a political society rather than a rule of law society, which I tend to look at it as, she has been held to account because I think cumulatively all of this cost her what everybody thought was a shoo-in election to the White House. So in some ways, the public has had its say, but you do hope at some point the legal system will have its say. Now, I would point out the Supreme Court has made it much harder to do political corruption cases by some decisions that it's made in the last few years. So it's a tough proof. But you know, the Republicans are talking about having a hearing on this before they cede control of the House to the Democrats. I think that'd be a really good thing.
It's a good point about the election, though. Andy McCarthy, thank you very much.